is going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today? So ESPN just dropped a video mock draft special. So today, we're going to be reacting to it. So the draft is only 4 days away. I am super excited. This is the first ESPN mock draft that I am reacting to on the channel. Drop a thumbs up if you guys have been enjoying the videos. And I guess without further ado, we can start reacting to it. Like always, I will leave the link to the mock draft in the description below. Let's get into this.
Welcome to the NBA mock draft.
All right, so we can kind of skip the theatrics here. Well, I don't even know who Dalen Cuff is. Never heard of him. So yeah, I don't know. I kind of just want to see where the mock draft's gonna start. Oh no, I see Kendrick Perkins. This is not who I want to be reacting to.
Talk about storylines coming into the draft. Jay, I start with you.
Oh,
what are you focused on?
Oh boy, I'll trust Jay Billis. I'm not a huge fan of Jay Billis, but I will respect his opinion because he watches all the college basketball. Same with Mike Schmitz. Kendrick Perkins, though. Oh boy.
Well, Dalen, a lot of focus is going to be on who the #1 pick will be, and as you mentioned, we don't have a no-brainer, clear-cut #1 pick, but I think the story is a little bit further down because there are a lot of really interesting possibilities for upside. Whether it's Tyrese Halliburton of Iowa State, Isaac Okoro of Auburn, Devin Vassell.
I feel like that's every year. There's more bench players than all-stars. You can go to any draft in the lottery, and there will be more bench players than all-stars. I mean, I guess you could now. I guess you have starters, all-stars, superstars, where you'll have like all-NBA, all-stars, starters, bench out of the league. Okay. I mean, I feel like bench. Like you go into 20. We'll say like 2017, you had all-stars, let's say, in the lottery. You had Donovan Mitchell, and we'll give Jason Tatum. Those have been the all-stars so far, right? That I know of at the top of my head. Bench players, you've had Frank Ntilikina. You've had Markelle Fultz so far. You've had, I won't say Lonzo Ball's a bench player. Josh Jackson, he's kind of out of the league. Or he's on the Grizzlies still, but you know what I mean. Dennis Smith Jr., I feel like most drafts that's going to happen, though.
Of Florida State, or Aaron Nesmith of Vanderbilt, who may be the best shooter in this draft. There are a number of two-way players that are multi-talented that could wind up being all-stars.
But also for 2017, it's very early still in their careers, so I digress.
Out of this draft that aren't being talked about.
Now, there's a lot of gems that could be discovered here. Now, Perk, I know you're focused on one organization that has had quite a struggle in recent years, the Knicks. Why?
Boy.
Because it's time. I mean, look, the Knicks have been struggling for years, and they need a star. They're not going to get one in free agency, and LaMelo Ball is that guy. And if I'm the Knicks, I'm trying to trade up in this draft to land LaMelo Ball. This kid has box office written all over him. He's made for New York. He's going to sell out seats. He's going to perform at a high level, and he's a big point guard. He's battle-tested. He's mentally.
I mean, I would love LaMelo Ball in New York. You guys said, have known that. He's my #1 guy I would like to see the next draft, but he's not falling to 8. And for them to trade up, apparently it's going to cost either Mitchell Robinson and 8 or RJ Barrett. Yeah, that's a big no from me.
Ready. He's everything that you want. He's ready to perform under the bright lights.
All right, here we go. So I think the mock draft is actually starting.
Now let's go to the picks. Mike Schmitz, along with Jonathan Givony, have created our mock draft. But Mike, you are.
Oh, it's Mitch and Givony. Or Giovanni. Okay, I like that because I know Giovanni runs Draft Express and Mike Schmitz is the ESPN top draft analyst. So I'm actually interested to see what these guys say. I just don't know if I can listen to Kendrick Perkins talking about the draft.
#1 now.
Well, this is still very fluid. Anthony Edwards, James Wiseman, both in the mix. But we're going to go with LaMelo Ball at #1 here.
Right now, he's in my mock draft #1 going to the Timberwolves as well.
This kid is box office. He's 6'7". He has tremendous size. He's a wizard with the basketball as a ball handler. He's electric in the open court. And he has that type of Showtime flair that we've seen from a Trae Young. Now, he's still improving as a perimeter shooter, his decision-making, his defense, but he would really give the Minnesota Timberwolves one of the most skilled under 25 big.
I just don't like the fit with D'Lo. I mean, I think he's the best player in this draft as well. I'm not a fan of the fit.
3 in the NBA when you talk about him, D'Angelo Russell, and Karl Anthony Towns.
All right, Anthony Edwards was the odds-on favorite. Givony and Schmitz go with LaMelo. Jay, what's your reaction to that?
Well, first, I only disagree with Schmitz and Givony when I want to be wrong. So why would I disagree with this? But LaMelo Ball is the pick if you're going by position, I think. Talent at the position you're looking for, because he will blend in really well as a point guard along with D'Angelo Russell at the shooting guard position. And Minnesota
has your defense in that backcourt. Not going to be very good.
A bunch of wings. So if you take Anthony Edwards, he's going to be, I think he'll be at the top of your list of talented wings, but he's going to be another wing in your cupboard. So I think this is a good pick. I just happen to have Edwards as the #1 overall prospect. I'm not sure Minnesota's the best place. Maybe it's better for him to go to Golden State or Charlotte.
Well, listen, look, I know LaMelo Ball's box office, but to me, he just don't fit well with D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell wants the ball in his hands, and so do LaMelo Ball. So if I'm the Timberwolves, I'm taking Anthony Edwards. This kid is a flat-out stud, and he's an NBA scorer today. He could get a bucket. He has the athleticism of a Russell Westbrook, and he has the scoring mentality and scoring ability of a James Harden, in my opinion. Whoa. And he could play off the ball. That's why I think he fits better with Karl Anthony Towns and also D'Angelo Russell. I don't see LaMelo Ball and D'Angelo Russell complementing each other very well.
All right, so Perk thinks it should be Anthony Edwards. There's an efficiency issue there, too, with LaMelo. Shot 37% from the floor, 24 from 3, and some defensive issues, as Mike noted. All right, Mike, let's go to #2. Golden State. Man, this is an intriguing pick. They won the title 2 years ago. They got their injuries. They're getting guys back healthy. They are still.
I thought my mock draft was going to go Edwards, Wiseman, LaMelo, but I think it's going to go LaMelo, Wiseman, Edwards, and I'm going to have Edwards to Charlotte.
The organization, arguably, in the NBA. Who are they going with at #2?
Well, like Minnesota, I would very much expect this pick to be in play as well on a different timeline than your typical team drafting #2. But we're going to go with James Wiseman, the center out of Memphis. If you were building a center in a lab, this is exactly what he would look like. He's almost 7'1", 7'5" wingspan, 9'6" standing reach. He runs the floor like a wing, and you could really see him be kind of that Lob City DeAndre Jordan for the Warriors, okay? When you're talking about playing alongside Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, just keep
Wait, I want to rewind this for a second. Oh, man, that makes me sad. I was looking down and I saw 2 and said, I don't know if I'll ever be my old self. Damn, man. Come on.
It's simple. That's run the floor, protect the rim,
yeah, back to
you
this.
have a guy who can help you right now, and then also has some upside.
I do think he's a little bit more of a project as well.
To grow into moving forward.
I think Onyeka Okongwu is more NBA ready, but I think I like Wiseman as the better prospect.
I think the thing with James Wiseman is he's a 7'1" Chris Bosh, left-handed. He can step away and shoot it. Will he be able to stretch it out to three-point range in the NBA is the big question. But his mobility is what sets him apart, and he's ultra smart both on and off the floor. He'll blend in really well with the Warriors.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Look, James Wiseman.
I like how Jay Billis' setup is every typical analyst setup, in their office room behind your shelf, and then Perk's just in his living room.
It's a perfect fit. That's what Golden State need. And by the way, going there, he will be taught by a great group of vets, and Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and especially Draymond Green will teach him all the ropes. Look, this kid is the best big in the draft, hands down. I think he's ready to play right now, and he is the missing piece for the Golden State Warriors. And I'm telling you, he's that lob threat and that rim protector that the Golden State Warriors need. Plus, he put on 20 pounds of muscle during the offseason.
Feels like it would be a great fit both ways there at Golden State. #3, Charlotte Hornets. Mike, who you got?
Anthony Edwards to the Charlotte Hornets at #3. And we're talking about, this is a...
Okay, if this is now I'm getting in my dream fantasy offseason for the Hornets. If you get Edwards at 3, I'm okay with packaging salary in Cody Zeller or Batum, whatever, I guess Batum to make the money work. Devontae Graham, Terry Rozier, and a protected first next year, if you can keep Miles Bridges, for Russell Westbrook. Because then, if you can do that, you will still have cap space to go after Montrezl Harrell in free agency, and boy, would I be excited to watch Russell Westbrook, Anthony Edwards, Miles Bridges, PJ Washington, and Montrezl Harrell. That, I think, is a perfect offseason for the Hornets to be a 6th seed in the Eastern Conference. But, hey, I would so take that if I were Charlotte. Man, I would love that if they could pull that off. That is just now me getting a little fantasy, a dream scenario. Because I'd like to see, I usually like to see bad teams become good. And the Hornets are a bad team. And they've only been really good for, that 1 year with Kemba, with the Ninja Turtle guy. I forgot what year that was. That might have been 2015 or 16. Might be 2016. Yeah, I think 2016. Against when they lost to the Heat. So now I'm getting in my dream scenario. But yeah, imagine Anthony Edwards Bridges, PJ Washington, Montrezl Harrell, Russ. I would love that. I would love that.
Talent, okay, 6'5", 230 pounds, 6'10" wingspan, can score it from anywhere on the floor.
All right, so I'm intrigued now. Let me just see who they go with pick 4 because I think the 3's consensus, that's the top 3. It's going to go in a different order maybe, but those are going to be the top 3 guys. I'm interested to see who they have Chicago taking at 4. Is it Denny, Obi, Killian, Tyrese, Isaac Okoro?
Be our number 1 scorer.
Or actually, let me just
highlight,
kind of fast forward because I want to see what they see or what they have at 4.
Let's go to number 4, the Bulls, Mike.
The Bulls are going to select Denny Avdia, 6'10" combo forward.
This
out
is
of
looking
Israel,
like my
played
mock
for
draft.
Maccabi Tel Aviv. Serbian, Israelian, has great size, great positional length, and this is a guy who can shift really anywhere from 1 to 4 on both ends of the floor. He's tremendous in transition, and he's going to give them.
He did only average 2.5 assists, but he's a very good passer.
In as a starter right away, already has 100 pro games of experience.
And you have to think that Luka Doncic and his success is going to positively impact how Denny Avdia is viewed because he can play at both ends of the floor. He's probably a better defender, I think, than Luka Doncic. He's not the offensive player. Very few players in the world are. But this is a good, solid pick for Chicago.
Oh, I agree with both of y'all. Look, this kid is 6'10". He could play both ends of the floor, very skilled. You cannot pass up on a kid like this, and I think this guy is a perfect fit for the Chicago Bulls. So I'm 100% in with that pick that y'all just picked with the Chicago Bulls.
Okay, into number 5th pick, the Cavs are on the board.
The Cleveland Cavaliers will select Obi Toppin, the best player in all of college basketball.
This is looking like my
He's
exact
gonna
mock
fit
draft. I don't
alongside
disagree with
Darius
any of these
Garland,
picks so
Colin
far.
Sexton, Kevin Porter. He's a lob threat. He runs the floor incredibly hard. You can pop him to 3. He's maybe the most complete offensive.
Odds-on favorite goes 3. Wiseman in at number 2, Denny Avdia.
So at 6, do they have? I'm guessing he's gonna have
Real
Halliburton. I think he
number
will.
4, and Obi Toppin, the
Halliburton or
Booker winner,
Okoro,
best
I'm gonna
college
say
player
Halliburton.
last year at Dayton goes 5. Let's go 6 through 10. Mike Schmitz, where are we at?
Well, number 6, the Atlanta Hawks are going to select Isaac Okoro out of Auburn. This
Okay.
kid is a big-time athlete, 6'6", 220 pounds, 6'10" wingspan. It really gives the Hawks exactly what they need defensively.
So
Gives
there's
them
a good chance on draft night that either Killian Hayes or Tyrese Halliburton falls to the Knicks at 8. I would like that. I like Devin Vassell as well. Man, I don't really know what the Knicks are going to take, but I thought he was going to have a Halliburton to the Hawks at 6.
a defensive identity, someone who can guard 1 through 4 and handle the ball.
Some people were
and
thinking
really,
they might take Devin Vassell at 6.
really pass it. And then at number 7, Patrick
Okay,
Williams.
so we're getting
out
right
of Florida.
back. Yeah, I've heard that Detroit loves Patrick Williams. Like, loves him. Damn, so the Knicks could have a chance to either draft Halliburton, Hayes, or Vassell at 8. They must be loving that.
Florida State. This is the biggest riser in this draft. He has an NBA-ready body, 6'8".
Because he's a good defensive player. He can space the floor, and he's a kind of like a stretch defensive forward. That's what they kind of value a lot more in the NBA nowadays.
225 pounds, 7-foot wingspan. Reminds you a little bit of maybe an OG and an Obi type. Has a ton of upside.
I just like the fit. I guess next to Christian Wood if they bring him back. I don't know if they now view Sekou as a 3, and then they obviously still have Blake Griffin.
And then at number 8, the New York Knicks going to get their point guard of the future.
Hey, okay, I'll talk about that in a pick in a second. But back to Russell Westbrook. Hey, if you could trade Luke Kennard, Derrick Rose, and Blake Griffin for Russell Westbrook, I'd honestly do it. I'd honestly do that. Because I think Russ can help Sekou and Patrick Williams' development, and him alone can probably help you be a better team than Blake Griffin. But hey, if you're trying to secretly tank, then keep Blake.
Future in Tyrese Halliburton. He does everything on the floor. And
good shooter, good passer, good rebounder, good ball handler. I think he's perfect next to RJ Barrett. Perfect. I like this pick a lot.
Analytics models have had him as a number 1 or number 2 pick all season long. He can really shoot it. He has great size, and he's a perfect fit next to RJ Barrett. And then at number 9, the Washington Wizards get their rim protector of the future, and that's Onyeka Okongwu. The best shot blocker in the entire draft. Doesn't need the ball offensively to be effective, and defensively reminds you a little bit of Bam Adebayo with his ability to
a lot of
down,
comparisons on Onyeka to Bam.
slide, defend, pick and roll, and protect the rim. And then at number 10, the Phoenix Suns get Devin Vassell.
Interesting over Vassell. I like this if they trade Oubre for Chris Paul. But if they do not, then I love Killian at 10 for them.
Reminds me a little bit of one of their wings already, Mikal Bridges. This is a kid who can guard multiple positions. He can shoot it from three, shot over 40% from three this past season at Florida State. He's a late bloomer, has a ton of upside to grow into. So the Phoenix Suns get another switchable.
Don't disagree with any of these.
And this is a strong group.
Knows what he's talking about, so I agree with most of these. Maybe, I think 10 depends on if Chris Paul is traded for, because if he's not, then I like Killian there.
These are guys who could potentially end up being better than some of those prospects drafted ahead of them. Teams really like the back end of
2 Florida State guys in there as well.
The top 10 in this draft.
A year ago, people have been shocked to see Okoro, Williams, and Vassell in the top 10. Halliburton and Okongwu maybe more expected to be on this stage. Jay, what jumps out at you 6 through 10?
Well, Tyrese Halliburton out of Iowa State, and if the Knicks were to get him at number 8, I think they'd be lucky, because I have Halliburton as a top 5 prospect in this draft. He has 0 holes in his game. You know, Mike said it, he can really shoot it, especially when he gets his feet set in catch and shoot situations, but he
Okay, so they're just going to show it here. Wow, everybody really has Cole Anthony falling. Oh, no, he has him at 19. Okay, I thought he was out of there. So, Aaron Nesmith to the Spurs at 11. I've mocked that before. Love that. Killian Hayes to the Kings at 12. If he falls that far, I like that. I also really like the idea of Patrick Williams going to the Kings, but his mock is off the board. Killian, I think I would prefer Precious or Sadiq Bey. Yeah, I like Sadiq Bey to the Pelicans at 13. I would prefer probably Kyra Lewis or maybe even Jalen Smith, but I don't mind that. Kyra Lewis to the Celtics at 14. I think the rich just get him richer with that. I love Kyra Lewis. You guys know that. RJ Hampton, not the biggest fan. Neither am I the biggest fan of Tyrese Maxey. I like Cole Anthony over both those guys. So I would probably slide those guys down and Cole Anthony up. I'd rather have Cole Anthony go to the Magic. I would even maybe prefer, I don't even know who I'd want to go to the Blazers. It would really suck for them if Nesmith, Vassell, Williams, and Sadiq Bey are all off the board. I like Precious going to the T-Wolves at 17. Poku to the Mavericks, foreign player connection there. Jalen Smith to the Heat is pretty nice because they do kind of have a hole between who they're going to have playing between Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo next year. So is like, I think that would be a nice middle ground getting him. And then I kind of talked about every pick so far. So nothing too like, wow, that's too high or too low. So I like it so far. Okay, so here is the final first round mock. He's got Malachi Flynn pretty high at 21. I don't think Flynn gets drafted over Tyrell Terry. I like Malachi Flynn. I just don't see it happening. Josh Green to the Nuggets at 22. I think that's around the range he'll go to. Theo Maudon to the Jazz. I don't think they take a project player. They need somebody that's a win now. And if Desmond Bane or Tyrell Terry are on the board, even Jaden McDaniels at 23, who's a project, but I think they would rather have him over Theo. Yeah, I don't see Theo going to the Jazz at 23. Desmond Bane to the Bucks at 24. That would be huge for them. Kind of maybe slide into that Wesley Matthews role or Kyle Korver. Jaden McDaniels to the Thunder at 25. I think that's fine because they're a team that's rebuilding. He's a project as well, so I think that's a good fit. Leandro Barmaro, if the Celtics are going to use all 3 of their first-round picks, and I know they don't want to, take somebody that can play overseas for a little bit. Let him develop over there, and then he'll come over. So I love that. Isaiah Stewart to the Knicks at 27. I'm not a fan of them drafting another center. If they're going to go Tyrese Halliburton, I wouldn't mind them going after a wing, or even take Tyrell Terry. Do it. Why not? Maybe roll some Tyrell Terry, Tyrese Halliburton, and RJ Barrett lineups next year. That would get me excited. But yeah, Lakers Tyrell Terry 28. I don't think he falls that far. Zeke Naji 29. All right. Xavier Tillman, I don't think he falls to 30. I think Daniel Oturu would go over him, and I think Vernon Carey would as well. So he might be a little bit high. Like the only names like that aren't here is like Nico Mannion, Robert Woodyard, but not a bad mock draft nonetheless. I agree with most of these, but obviously my mock draft is gonna look different. Like the top 10 might be similar, but when you get to 20 or 10 to 30, it's gonna look a lot different. But yeah, that is gonna be my reaction to ESPN's mock draft 1.0. Let me know in the comments what you think of the mock draft. Do you agree with what I said? Agree with what they said? Disagree with what I said, or disagree with what they said? But yeah, drop a like if you guys did enjoy. Thank you all for watching. I'll leave a link to this in the description below. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.